Hi everyone, so welcome to our class. Today we're going to be doing something different, CSS, the cascading style sheet, and we'll be learning the three different methods of adding CSS to our file. So the first method of adding CSS is called the inline method. The second method of adding CSS is called the internal method, and the third method of adding CSS is called the external method. So quickly, we'll just run through this method to see. So we'll start with the first method, which is the inline method of adding CSS. So now for the inline method of adding CSS, let's say we want to change this line of text, inline method of adding CSS. So let's say we want to change this line of text to let's say red. So what you do is that you add your syntax in the opening tag. And how do you add your syntax? It's very easy. You just type style. While you're typing, something pops up. So let's say you're changing the color, right? So you say color, and then it pops up, and you see red. Immediately, you can see from our show preview that it has changed to red. So let's add something else. Let's say you want to add background. Let's say you want to add background color, let's say black. Now it's just few things I just want to show us for now on how we can change that. So that's for the inline method, right? Yeah, so that's for the inline method of adding CSS. So let's see for the internal method of adding CSS. So for the internal method of adding CSS, what we have to do is that we add the syntax in the head section. That's the whole of this section here. We just add it somewhere around here. So what do? You add your so you add your style element. So now in your style element, we'll have to do something. Now let's see which one are we changing. So let's change the H2. So let's change the H2. Now in changing the H2, you add something called a curly brace. Now in CSS, this thing that appears before the curly brace is called a selector. So that is what you are selecting to change maybe the style. So let's say we are changing this to green, color green, let's say background color blue. It's looking terrible. Let's say gray, yellow, green, yellow. Okay, it's looking some better off a bit. So now, so we just change something else again. So it is targeting the H2. So let's say we want to target the H1. And you see that everything has just changed immediately. So now that's for the internal style of adding CSS. So for the inline, you add it directly in the line, and then for the internal, you add it in the head section. So the inline is applied to just one element, while the internal method of adding CSS is applied to just a single page website. But when you're building a multi-page website, you cannot use, it is not advised to use inline or internal. So what is advised to use is the external method of adding CSS. So now in adding CSS using the external method, what we do is that we add something called the link element right there again in the head section. So you add the link element in the head section, but there's something that you would have to add to it. It is called the relationship. So what's the relationship with this link? What are you trying to do? So it is linking to a style sheet. So you add your relationship and then you add style sheet. Yeah. So after you've added style sheet, you add your href. And of course, we know what the href is. It is an anchor tag. It's something that we've done before, so it is not new. Now, before I add this href, we must create a CSS file. Just the same way we have the HTML file here, we have to create another new file, new text file, and then we'll save it as style. Then don't forget to come here to change the save as type. You change it to CSS. Very good. Now you can see that we have a style.css file. So we'll go back to our HTML file and then remember how to call up, how we use the dots and the forward slash to call up and then add something to our HTML file. It's the same way. So now that's just basically what I did. I want to add up this CSS file that I just created. Now I want to add it up to the HTML document. So I just use the dot forward slash and then it has added up to our HTML document. So now just for safe practices, it's not something you must basically do. So let's say you want to be sure that this file has added up. So you can just immediately check to see the background color of your document. So let's say background color. Is that thing now? Background color. RGB. Okay, so now since it's not popping up, let's just go ahead and change something else so we can see. So let's say we want to change the background color of the HTML document. So we just come here, then we use the HTML as the selector. Let's say background color. Let's change it to blue. Very good. You can see that the background color has changed to blue. So basically that's how you add CSS to your files. Thank you.